Hey guys, welcome back to Modern Country Living. It's Sean, and today going to be working with the Bobcat E60 with the VMC 42-inch cutter on the head. So we got that out at the end of the boom, and over at my parents' house, been working on clearing some trails and along the field edges. And I'm probably going to include some footage in this video of me using this cutter over at my place, over at the neighbor's place. It's just been a really handy thing. So I'm gonna go over it real quick, show you what we've got. Just got done throwing a little fuel in the Bobcat and also greasing the machine, getting it ready to go. So let's take a look. Well, this is the VMC cutter. If you watch my channel, you'll see that I purchased a few different items from VMC. And I've been pretty pleased with them. This cutter in particular, 42 inches, rated for my flow, 20 gallon a minute, which is what I got with my Bobcat E60. So it's 2024 Bobcat E60 that I bought last year. And I've probably got, I don't know, probably 20 to 30 hours cut time with this cutter. And it's been doing a great job. You can see I've been wearing the blades a bit, so that's something you can expect, especially when you're in some brushy areas and click a rock or two. But it's been a good machine thus far. It cuts really well. I'll show some videos. I'm working through some of the stuff I've been doing. I have not been doing a lot of grassy work, you know, not cutting a lot of grass and weeds, more brushy stuff. You can kind of see some of the stuff in here. I've been cutting some stuff that's fairly decent in size, but yeah, this is a stout little cutter. No complaints on how it's performing thus far. So stay tuned in the video, see what I've been doing with it. You might be able to see that over there, cut the branches back on that tree and cleared around there. That was hanging over on the corner. And same thing in front of us. You can see all the brush on the ground where essentially everything came out here. And I've been just cutting it back. So we'll come in and mulch all this up with the rotary cutter on my dad's tractor. But this will make it a little bit better for him. Down here, there was basically like a very narrow path, and you can see where I worked to really cut it back. Probably have, oh, I don't know, 15, 18 feet wide now, whereas before it was less than 8 feet wide. So these trails just got overgrown, and going that way, you couldn't even drive a tractor now. I've got it probably, I'm guessing about 20 feet wide moving down there. And coming down this way, this is a right-of-way that used to go through the woods with power lines, and they relocated them years ago. And over the last probably 10 years, they got the right-of-way really, you know, kind of grew in, and so you couldn't even, you can kind of see where the weeds are. I've been cutting it back so that we can get tractor down in here and really make some progress with mowing it. I'm not gonna spend all my time with this mower trying to mow all the grassy, you know, goldenrod areas. Just want to cut it back so that we can see and get at it with the tractor. So you can kind of see how I'm cutting all that thick stuff. So in the middle of the frame there, that's where all the brush started. This heavy woody stuff that you can see grown there. So I've been just hammering it back. So I'm going to work my way down this trail and work to widen it out. See what happens. Okay, well, let's see if we can get something cut in here, and we'll get this thing fired up a little bit.
Alright guys, you can see this machine really does a great job. Here I am working through some heavier, thicker brush. I'm going to end up cutting a little bit of a trail here that used to exist back when I was younger, and it's overgrown, so I'm going to end up diving into this. I'm going to speed it up a little bit for you, put some music on, and then I'll rejoin here when I get through it a little bit. much more effective than trying to use a rear brush hog on the back of a tractor. Just much more versatile and able to really cut down a lot of stuff up high. I can really reach up high and grab the branches that are hanging off the tree and things that would end up hitting the cab of a tractor. Or if you're riding a horse, you might be 7, 8, 9 feet off the ground, and now you're able to ride clean, don't have the branches coming and trying to hit you in the face. But made it out to this little pasture here, this little field. Again, areas that used to be a lot less overgrown. So I'm working to cut it down, make some ways for us to drive the four-wheelers, side-by-sides, and when you're hunting, being able to walk some trails. And I'm sure the deer are going to really love this, coming out and being able to, deer love to walk in easy areas. So that's something that we're creating there as well. So might have to set up some cameras. Working down at my dad's, did a great job, and here's some additional footage back behind my house, working over to my neighbor's. He has a large Osage orange hedge that he needed cut, and I originally worked to take my Samurai. If you watch some of my other videos, I have a Samurai, basically like a sickle bar cutter that can be mounted to my tractor bucket, and I've used that around my property. It does a nice job, but it's nowhere near as heavy duty as this cutter. Definitely more limited in what it can handle. We tried it out on his hedge, and it definitely would cut, but it was going to be a lot slower, and it wasn't going to do as good of a job as we were looking for. So I recommended we try to get the excavator over to his property. So I drove it out back and across the field and up the hill, and we started cutting, and I think it turned out pretty well. You can watch and see some of the footage here as I start to work it down. There was, in certain areas, several feet of growth that we needed to take down to get it to the height that he wanted. But it does a nice job of mulching it up, and given the many degrees of angle that you can run with the head, flexing it up and down and reaching over the hedge, I think it just gives you a lot of ability to make the hedge the way you want. So watch some of this video here. One of the things you'll note is you can hear the hydraulics spinning up and down. Obviously, as I move, I'm robbing some of the hydraulic flow of the machine, taking it away from the rotary cutter, but has a pretty good massive cutter underneath, so it stays spinning pretty well, and you just learn how to run it and be efficient with it, so it works out pretty well. As you can see, it does a really nice job on this Osage orange. And my neighbor, he's part of a family. They've been farming for many generations, and they've got some really awesome fields. He's up on top of a hill, has amazing views, and you're going to see here, he took a little ride with his UTV, his side-by-side, into one of their other fields, and he got some footage of me out from the distance up on top of his hill, mowing it down. You can see to the left there where I've cut it, and then to the right where I'm working my way down, cutting the hedge. So pretty cool to be able to see some of this footage. When you're in there operating it, you're kind of in the zone, but seeing it from afar, kind of cool. So I really appreciate him taking some of this footage. Well guys, as you can see, getting a lot of great use out of this VMC 42-inch cutter. It's been a great addition to my garage, I can tell you that. The ability to get into tight spaces and clear, the ability to get way up high, just really, I didn't know what I was missing. I wish I'd have bought an excavator a long time ago and one of these cutters. And I'll tell you, the VMC cutter, they said I've definitely got over 24 hours on it, maybe closer to 30 some hours on it. When I look back at the number of weekends and number of times after work I've just gotten on it and went out and mowed for a few hours. All the welds look great. I'm not seeing any cracking. As you can tell, I'm not afraid to use it. I will use it with some heavier, thicker, woody stuff, and it does a nice job. And when you want to mow in some grass, you can do that as well. What I'm using it for, I'm tending to push back and cut back thicker woody stuff, and then I can run my 10-foot mower through and really grind up and break down all the wood stuff. I don't need to sit there and just continue to grind on it with this. I can make some progress getting down the trails, but it'll do it. It's a stout cutter. I'm sure I could have picked other brands, that are out there, and I did my research, and VMC was where I ended up. I feel like they treated me very well. I had, one issue with a vibration, and they took care of me. Ended up taking the unit back, and as I said, they took care of me. I think that says something about a company when they're willing to stand behind their product like that. So I'm very optimistic that I'll get a number of good years out of this piece of equipment. And I'll do some video updates as time goes on. This morning, I'm gonna get the tractor fired up and do some work. It's the end of August and it's 41 degrees out, so hence the coat. But thanks so much for watching my channel. Really appreciate you. Hopefully you get something meaningful out of it. If you do, subscribe to it and you'll get some notifications, hit the bell. Yeah, I don't know. Thanks for being a part of my channel. Take care and God bless.